Hey there, good morning. My name is Bev. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I just wanted to jump on here real quick this morning and just briefly introduce myself and share a little bit about my channel with you. I'm 58 years old, I'm married, and I have 2 grown children. And I started my Glp-1 journey this year in February, and my starting weight was 181 when I weighed at home before going to the doctor. And when I got to the doctor with being fully clothed and whatnot, I was 184.6, I believe, but I'm just going to be using my weight here on my scales here at home. I just have your standard bathroom scales. I don't have anything fancy like the Renfro or anything yet, but it is my goal to hopefully get that in the future so I can get better data on my fat percentages, my muscle percentages, and all of that good stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit about what my channel is about. It's about my health and wellness goals. It's about just general goals in life and things that I do here on my channel that I'd just like to share with you and just document, quite frankly, my progress. As of to date, I am currently 155 is what I weighed this morning, and if I did my math right, I believe that's 26 pounds. So it has been very slow for me, generally averaging anywhere from a half a pound, to a pound a week. I think I did like a total average divided by the weeks that I've been on it, and it came out to be like 1.3 pounds per week, which is great. So I'll take it regardless of how slow it is. Probably the side effects that I have experienced more than anything is just bouts with a little bit of nausea. Constipation has not been too bad because I have been trying to get my dietary fiber in, and of course prioritizing that protein. And just to be honest, probably for the first, I'd say 2 to 3 months, my exercise was minimal, so just some walking here and there. But I have recently started adding strength training in 2 times a week, but I would like to get that increased to at least 3 times a week, and I really need to work on increasing my steps. The problem is I have a sedentary job. I drive a truck for a living, and so I'm driving for anywhere from 9 to 10 hours a day. So it is a little bit of a challenge trying to get the steps in. I do in the mornings on my way to my trip, I generally will stop at a rest area to take a restroom break, and I will try to walk a couple of laps around the rest area, which is nice because it's cool early in the morning when I'm working, and it's generally peaceful there. So I try to do that as long as the weather is conducive for it. Anytime I'm out of my truck, I'm trying to take a lap or 2 around it. So wherever I can get some extra steps in while I am working, I'm trying to do that. And when I get home, just being honest, it's really hard to have the energy to do more walking once I get home because it's been a long day. But gotta push through that and at least try to get at least 10 minutes of walking in, because I feel like that's going to help me with my energy. And that is another side effect now that I'm thinking about it. Like a day or two after shot day, I'm really tired. But after that, it generally, levels out and I feel okay. And a little bit of nausea, like I said. And so far, constipation really has not been a problem for me. I make sure I'm getting, trying to get my water in. That's really hard with my job too, because the more water I'm drinking while I'm working, the more I have to stop and go to the bathroom or take a break, which is a challenge because, like I said, I drive a truck and it's just not easy to whip into somewhere, and it's not always convenient, let me put it that way, to stop somewhere and use the restroom. But I mean, I do if I absolutely have to. So, but yeah, I'm pleased with the progress that I'm making, and I'm just gonna keep taking steps forward in my progress, and I'll keep popping on here and sharing my journey with you. And please feel free to drop a comment below and share your journey. It's very encouraging to me to read other people's progress, and I've about exhausted all of my GLP-1 videos that I have found on YouTube. I've found quite a few that I do really enjoy watching, and I've just been like binge watching these people that I have found on YouTube with their progress, and it's so just encouraging to see other people's progress. So please share your progress. And another thing that I will mention is when I initially got on it, I was skeptical. I was like, okay, I was a little bit nervous about it at first because I've heard all the naysay and stuff on social media, like it's not good for you and this and that. But then I've heard all the outstanding results that other people have had, so I started doing some digging in it, and that's when I found these other videos. I was like, wow, I'm gonna make an appointment and talk to my doctor about it. And I asked her, I told her why I was there. I wanted to see about getting on GLP-1 because my BMI was, I think it was 31 at that time. I'm only 5'5", so and I was on blood pressure medication, so I had that. And I told her, I said, I have just struggled and struggled probably my whole, I'll just dare to say my whole life, because probably after my first child was when I put on a lot of weight with my son and that pregnancy, and ever since then it has just been a struggle. I've tried keto, I've tried carnivore, and I will say that with carnivore, I did, see I lost 20 pounds. It took me like 3 months, but I lost 20 pounds, but I just could not sustain the meat, eggs, and cheese and dairy. I think that's another thing you can have on that, although they ask you to limit it, I think. But I was just beginning to grow almost a food aversion to just eating that same thing over and over, and I was just like, I just cannot do this. Although I do think that my body responds really well to limiting the carbs, because it just seems like if I eat too many, it's just like overnight I'm just poof, blowing up. So I do believe there's benefits for me to somewhat limit my carbs, but I could not sustain that. But anyway, so I had tried that, and I was just, I'd heard all these good things about GLP-1, and so I went to see my doctor, and I asked her, I said, okay, have your patients, I said, that are on it, I said, are they really seeing the results, that I'm hearing about? And she was actually writing looking down, writing, you know, on my I guess my medical records or whatever, and she stopped what she was doing and she looked up and she said, "Oh yeah." And that really encouraged me. And so she initially started me on the Wegovy, the semaglutide, and I was really doing good on that, but man, the nausea was just off the charts and I was really tired. And I did the Wegovy for 6 weeks, and then I started, you know, learning and watching others, and saw that the tirzepatide was, you know, had two agonists that, and they were seeing better results with it. And so I got my Wegovy through I got a discount through the Trump RX, where the first initial 2 doses were $199, and which was still, you know, pricey to me. Well, then I started looking down. Once you get past the second dose level, it went up to $350, and I thought, I cannot. And I think it even went up one more once you went past that, and I thought, I cannot do that much. I mean, that's almost a car payment. And so I thought, there's got to be another way. And I heard about other people doing compounded Glp-1s, and so I started digging into that, and I found Pomegranate Health. That is who I currently use for my Glp-1, and I am on 6 milligrams of the tirzepatide, and so far so good. And I really I'm really glad that I found the compounded version. And I think I bought the last prescription, I got a 6-month supply, and it came out to be like $121, $125 a month, something like that. And I thought, okay, now that I can do, I can handle that. But I knew, you know, going the other route for the branded, I could not do that long term. And if this keeps working for me the way that it is so far, I have every intention on staying on it. So but anyway, well, that's all for today. So if you'd like, feel free to drop a comment below and share your journey and what success you've had. And I will be hopping back on here later on this week, and I will be sharing my further progress with you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so every time I upload a video, you'll be notified. Thanks for watching. Bye.